Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Four podcast. In this episode, we'll talk about some big stories from Week 1, and we'll also give you our picks for Week 2, the biggest game from Week 2. Let's start with the big stories from Week 1 and Michigan's embarrassing loss to Notre Dame, 24-17. Notre Dame dominated this game in all facets. Notre Dame's defense was just unstoppable, apparently. Harbaugh once again stumped play calling wise. He couldn't get anything going. Shea Patterson, Ole Miss's backup quarterback, came in and was terrible. Karan Higdon couldn't run the ball. Michigan's receivers sucked. Their running back sucks. Their quarterback sucks. They brought in Jim McElwain, an offensive guru for Nick Saban, and he didn't do anything. Getting paid $1 million to run I formation in the fourth quarter. And then how about the clock management? That was some of the worst clock management I've ever seen from any college football program. I've seen Rich Rod do better clock management than that. I mean, they should bring him back. I mean, come on. It was embarrassing. Luke, what do you have to say on this?
I didn't think the Michigan program can embarrass themselves more than they already have, losing 6 straight times for Ohio State. But after watching them, not only Jim Harbaugh said it himself, they asked him about not being able to win big games, and he said it's true. He hasn't been able to do it. Like, if that's his mindset, he should be fired, and it was proved. He proved again in that loss to Notre Dame opening game. The rival loses.
No, the media likes to kiss his ass and say he's doing a fine job. He's doing an average job. Which is pretty good for Michigan because they've been an average program over the past 20 years. But apparently it's not good enough for Michigan fans. So what do the Michigan fans have to say on this? Well,
I personally didn't get to watch the game. From what I saw, that was not what I expected, and not in a good way. You can't run a 1930s offense in 2018. You can't go I formation and just pound the ball up the middle and get 2 yards every single carry and that's a punt. It doesn't work. You can't expect your defense to hold a top 15 program to 0 points. You can't. It was just embarrassing. Embarrassing.
All right.
I will preface my argument here by saying that what I'm about to say, I hope I'm completely wrong. It's only been one game. For all I know, they can win out and win the national championship, but I hope they do. But I want to find evidence.
Well, guess what? Kansas could say that too. Kansas say, I hope I'm wrong. I hope we win out and win a national championship. I mean, it's basically the same thing.
That's enough. All right. First, I want to start out by saying I was utterly embarrassed, and I still am embarrassed after that game to consider myself a Michigan fan. This team was not only unprepared and let Brandon Wimbush run all over them, they brought in the worst coach in college football behind Jim Harbaugh, Jim McElwain from Florida, to come in and run a pro-style offense with an athletic quarterback. To get to the quarterback, he sucks. He's awful. Terrible. 2 turnovers. Are you kidding me? He fumbled to lose the game. That may have been the worst interception I've ever seen in my entire life, the one that he threw. And then we get into the end of the game where they're actually given a chance because Notre Dame is also notorious for losing big games, and they were attempting to give the game to Michigan in the second half. They have the ball back, and they can't manage the clock. Are you kidding me? How does that happen? Nothing has changed from last year's 8-5 team. this defense, the same defense is supposed to be the greatest defense of all time. Let's not forget. 42 points against Penn State last year. 24 against Wisconsin. A terrible offense. 31 against Ohio State. 26 against South Carolina. They're up 19-3 and got shredded by Jake Bentley.
Embarrassing.
Then they got up 24 to Notre Dame and Brandon Wimbush. Now, on offense, nothing's changed with the quarterback. Shea Patterson sucks. He is terrible. They should start Joe Milton. And it should run.
Let's calm down.
Spread offense. Hey, Chris. You have to be fair to Shea Patterson, a 5-star recruit, and saw him every single quarterback that let's just say Harbaugh had Scott Patterson. So Jake Rudolph was dominant.
Right.
All right. Then we go to the receivers. They all suck. It's terrible. They can't run routes. They can't catch the ball. They can't do anything. And then they go to Ambry Thomas, who's the only bright spot in this game, brings back the 99-yard kickoff return, and they're asking Harbaugh whether he'll play offense. He goes, oh, yeah, we might see him on offense, maybe. And then the offensive line, which is the biggest issue, Harbaugh says, oh, we're going to stay the same next week. Oh, there's going to be no changes. Are you kidding me? That's terrible. Now it all comes back to the coach. He's 1-6 against rivals. And the only win was against 3-9 Michigan State, and they barely won. He's worse than 1-9. 1-6 against rivals. He's 9-9 in his last 8 games at the winningest program of all time. What is he against Ohio State? He hasn't won a game against Ohio State. How many losses? 4-6 against Ohio State. 3. Oh, my bad. Let's look at the comparison to Brady Hoke, who all Michigan fans condemn as the worst coach of all time, being behind Rich Ross.
All right, let's calm down.
28-12 for Mr. Harbaugh. 27-13 for Hoke through 40 games. That's a one-game difference. And people praise Jim Harbaugh as being a good coach. Embarrassing.
He's a good coach.
He is terrible.
He's a good coach.
I will take Lovie
He's a
Smith
good
over
coach.
Jim Harbaugh 10 times out of 10.
If I hired Jim Harbaugh, I wouldn't let him go near the play calling, though. Because he's the worst play caller I've ever seen.
He can't play call anything. It's terrible. And then here's my conclusion. This team will no doubt, in my mind, I hope I'm wrong. I hope they go 11-1 and win the national championship. I know Kansas has the same argument. Whatever. It's not going to happen. They're going to go 7-5. They're going to lose to Wisconsin. They're going to lose to Penn State. They're going to lose to Michigan State. And once again, they'll lose to Ohio State, the biggest rival. And once again, in the offseason, they'll keep praising Jim Harbaugh. Oh, we're just bringing the program back. Oh, give him time. Give him time. You fired Hoke after 4 years. What are you going to say after this year when they go 7-5? And actually 7-6, because they will no doubt lose their bowl game because he can't win a big game.
Oh, he'll play in some big bowl. They'll put Michigan in a New Year's Six bowl just because they're Michigan, going 7-5. I bet you. That's what.
Destroyed and won't be prepared.
They'll play UCF and
Terrible.
lose.
They had all offseason to prepare for Brandon Wimbush, and they let him run all over him. That's all he can do is run. They let him run all over him.
Everything you just said, I was saying before the season started, and you didn't listen to me. I told you Shea Patterson was overrated.
Right. I was wrong. They suck. They suck.
I told you.
Go out and destroy Western Michigan.
I told you their defense is overrated. I told you their coach sucks. I told you your receivers suck. I told you your offensive line sucks, and you didn't listen to me. You said 11-1.
I didn't. You were right. I was wrong. You were right. I was wrong. They're going to go out and destroy.
Call me daddy.
This week. People are going to say.
Call me daddy.
People are going to say that they're.
Call me daddy.
People are going to say that they're back, but no, they're going to be barely a Division I team.
This was the year that.
They're back.
This is the year that every team was back. This is the year Florida State was back. This is the year Texas was back. This is the year UCLA was back. The year Michigan was back. This is the year Nebraska's back.
State got hurt. That was why.
Oh, please. They lost to Luke Fickell. The one coach that Michigan beat, they lost to, UCLA.
I've had enough of this conversation. I'm already too worked up.
Okay.
What's Michigan's fight song? Was it? Be loyal to the victors?
They
Well,
play.
they're no longer the
They play row the boat.
Can we just say that it's been one game and not? Well, it's one game.
What game?
It was a road game too.
I don't care. The 1-6 against rivals would be different if he was beating Michigan State and Ohio State in a consistent
All right,
basis.
let's calm
He's
down.
not.
Notre Dame is not a
Can't win big
rival.
games.
Oakland's
One
more of a
game.
rival to
Don't
us than Notre
relax.
Dame is to you.
Actually, it's been 40 games. 40 games, and he's 28-12. One game better than Brady Folk.
The only top 25 team Harbaugh's beaten in the past 2 years was the team that his offensive coordinator coached.
No, that's not true. They beat Wisconsin at home.
No, the past year and a half.
Okay, fair enough, yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next topic. Michigan State and Penn State struggled with Utah State and App State respectively. What does this say about both teams?
I watched the Michigan State game. I saw part of the Penn State game. I think it's troubling for both teams, especially Michigan State. I think you saw their defense was exploited by just not a good
By
not
a
good football team.
terrifically good quarterback who's making every throw.
An average quarterback.
Way better than
Their
Wimbush.
defense is exploited. Brian Lewerke was average at best.
Nope.
This is Michigan
You're
State
wrong. You're wrong again.
is going to win a few games. They're going to win a few games.
You're
They're
wrong.
going to win a lot of games. I'm sure they'll win 9-10 games. But they are not a playoff team, and neither is Penn State.
Well, I agree with that.
Trace McSorley was good down the stretch. Sucked the rest of the game.
Didn't you dub him the best quarterback in the Big Ten?
Yeah, he is the best quarterback in the Big Ten. I'm praising him, but their defense is terrible.
Oh yeah.
So
They've been terrible for 3 years.
App State gives everybody troubles, but it's troubling for both teams.
I think Michigan State will be fine. It just all it shows that they need to work on their defense against dual threat quarterbacks. That Utah State quarterback was going up and down the field against them. He could throw, he could run. They couldn't figure him out. They'll be fine.
All right, so Luke, dual threat quarterback. So what happens when they face Dwayne Haskins?
What happens when they play Shea Patterson?
And Shea Patterson.
Jim Harbaugh's
Dwayne
offense.
Haskins, what happens?
Shea Patterson is in a pro style offense, which
Good point, because they won't
not
get
dual
Harbaugh.
threat. He's not dual threat. Haskins doesn't run much, but I just think Ohio State's better than him anyway. So I don't think that matters.
That's true.
But for Penn State, it just shows that they need to get their crap together. They're missing Saquon Barkley, their best player in probably 10 years, and they just need to figure it out.
10 years? He's like a once in a generation talent. What are you talking about?
No, Beck.
He went second overall.
Who went to Penn State? Christian Hackenberg?
Yeah, he was nasty.
Oh, baloney.
Yeah, he was awful.
He was terrible.
He was nasty.
He was terrible.
He was the Jared
He was
Stidham.
awful.
He used to be my Mason Rudolph or Jared Stidham.
Oh my God.
He's like Cam Newton. He can't make an accurate pass 10 yards down the field.
Nasty.
He was good when he had an actual coach in Bill O'Brien. Then when they brought a joke of James Franklin in, he was garbage.
That's right.
He doesn't do anything.
He saved James
All
Franklin.
right, let's get back on topic. Alex, you have anything? What do you have to say about Michigan State and Penn State's performances?
I think they were both embarrassing. You can't let up 38 points to App State. That's 38
that was
points.
bad.
28 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was bad.
28 points in the fourth quarter. They could have won that game if they made that 56-yarder at the end. I didn't think.
42-yard return or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, I take more out of that than the Utah State game. Everyone has the jitters first week. Utah State's got nothing to lose first game of the year. I'm not worried about that. The Penn State game, you can't give
Okay.
38 points to App State.
Okay.
38.
Definitely better team than Utah State. That is true.
Now, okay, let me set you straight on this. Okay, I'll start with Penn State. That was embarrassing on Penn State's part. App State, they're equivalent to like Indiana, I would say. They're about equivalent to Indiana.
They received votes for the poll
So, talent-wise,
first week before they even played them.
listen, App State, decent team. They have the Bucknell transfer at quarterback, Zach Thomas. He was really good, but Penn State's defense has sucked the past 4 years. What?
He was really good in the NCAA tournament.
That's right. He had like 30 points against Michigan State in the tournament. And then he goes to play football at App State the next year. Anyways, Penn State, McSorley was not very good in this game. You could say he was clutch. He just threw that ball up he just closed his eyes and threw the ball up, and the guy caught it at the end of the game.
That's what he does. That's what he does every year.
I know.
He's not.
He just throws up 50-50 balls, and they get caught every
He's
time.
clutch.
He's like
Mr. Clutch.
he's like Eli. He's like Eli Manning. He's had 2 good balls.
That's so true. He's the Eli Manning of college football. All right, now let me get to my team. At first, I was very embarrassed by the performance against Utah State, but as I dug into it, I don't feel as bad about it because of these things. Michigan State has always struggled with high-tempo offenses. This is why we lose to Northwestern every year. I feel like this year's going to be different, but we've struggled against Oregon. We got destroyed when they had Marcus Mariota by like 30 points on the road. We almost lost to Baylor, gave up 41 points to Baylor, so we struggle against those type of offenses. And Jordan Love, the Utah State quarterback, was making every throw. He is a really good quarterback. He is probably a top 20 quarterback in the country, I would say. He was making every throw. Michigan State, offensively, I thought they were very good. And they should have won the game by 17 points. They had the ball on the 1-yard line 3 times, and they couldn't score a touchdown on one of them. So I feel like if they could have scored a touchdown on any one of those, nobody would be talking about this right now. And also, the Utah State coach, Matt Wells, is a great coach. He will be getting a Power 5 job next year. Just saying that right now. Anyways, the offense looked pretty good. I think LJ Scott needs to be benched, though, because I think Connor Hayward is better. So, yeah, Lewerke, if the receiver didn't fall down and that pick six didn't happen, he would have had a great day. He was very good on Friday night. There were a couple throws he missed, but he was under pressure all day. And Michigan State's O-line was beat up. Cole Chewins, their right tackle, was out. So he was under pressure all game long, and hopefully he comes back for Saturday's game. But the more I look into this game, the less I think about it, because I feel like Michigan State could have easily won by 17. For Penn State, though, that was embarrassing because they actually should have lost that game. So those are my opinions. All right, let's move on. What? Okay, let's move on. Miami embarrassed by LSU, 33-17. This is the 4th straight loss. 4th straight loss for Miami, dating back to last year.
Joe Burrow is the greatest quarterback to ever walk on the LSU campus.
What about Danny Etling?
Yeah, Danny Etling. What are you talking about? Joe Burrow.
Danny Etling, the Purdue transfer. Apparently, LSU cannot get a quarterback. They have to get transfers every year.
So does Michigan.
No, that's true. Michigan has to get transfers every year, too.
This is the second of my 4 playoff teams that is wet to bed
Embarrassing.
in week 1.
I can't believe you picked them.
I am going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that Miami is going to win out.
Oh, my God.
I will stick with it. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I will stick with it.
How dumb are you?
It was an off week. Rozier, he sucks and needs to be benched, but it was an off week. They'll come back next week, and they'll be fine.
They had that one spike year last year. You expect them to win 10+ games?
Yes, they were.
And they beat nobody in that 10-game winning streak besides a crappy Notre Dame. That's the only team they beat on that winning streak last year.
They lost at home to Wisconsin.
That's right, in a bowl game.
Yeah, because they played someone good.
That's right. They got handled by Pitt last year. I mean, come on.
So did Clemson a couple of years ago. Pitt beats everybody.
Yeah, but Clemson barely lost to Pitt. Pitt absolutely dominated that game. If you watched, Pitt dominated Miami.
No.
Yes, they did.
No.
The turnover chain was stomped on the ground. They need to put that thing away. That's embarrassing. Okay. Miami sucks. They're going 7-5 this year. They are probably the 5th best team in Florida. I'm going to go probably UCF number 1, Florida number 2, FAU 3rd, Florida State 4th, and Miami's the 5th best team. Miami, they suck. They suck on all facets. Their defense is overrated. Their quarterback sucks. Their coach can't win a big game if you paid him to. Going back to his Georgia days. They are a terrible football team. And I wouldn't be surprised if they lost this week to Toledo. I wouldn't be shocked.
Toledo.
Pretty sure they play Toledo. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Whoever they play. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost. Anyways. Are we good on this topic?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Auburn beats Washington 21-16. What do you guys think about this game?
Now, let me tell you, the biggest thing I took out of this game is watching the best quarterback in the country throw the ball.
Who,
game.
Jake Browning? Who you said was the best last week?
Yeah. Jarrett Stidham.
Wow, Jake Browning.
The way this kid throws the ball, I've never seen it before. I'm making it now. I'm making the claim. He's better than Mason Rudolph.
That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
He has lesser stats because the Big 12 doesn't play defense. The SEC does. He doesn't turn it over. He plays a great game against a great Washington defense. Big game.
A great Washington defense.
Yeah, very good.
How many points did they put up again?
I have never seen a guy throw a spiral.
They put up 21 points.
So accurate. I mean, he's just a great quarterback.
Yeah, I can throw a spiral too. It doesn't mean anything.
No. Oh, Shea Patterson can't. So Jarrett Stidham throws the best spiral.
Yeah, Shea Patterson's ball wobbles.
How many points did they score on field goals?
A lot, but he's an NFL quarterback. He is already an NFL quarterback.
Yes, by not being able to convert in the red zone on the college defense.
He has the New England Patriots written all over him.
Oh, here we go again.
As did Mason Rudolph.
There we go again. You got Danny Etling. Calm down.
They will be drafting Jarrett Stidham this year. I will predict that.
Oh, great. He'll be like Danny Etling. He's going to get cut right away.
No, he's nasty.
You got Brian Hoyer for another 10 years.
I don't think the Washington Auburn game taught us anything really. It's just two good teams. Had a good game. Low scoring game. Could have gone either way. It didn't really tell us anything.
Yeah, I was extremely disappointed in Chris Peterson because all he used to do at Boise State was win games against the SEC, and he struggled in big games at Washington in his tenure. I was really expecting more, but I guess he doesn't have like a Kellen Moore at quarterback to just carry him. He's got Jake Browning, the most overrated quarterback of all time. So, Stidham's a good quarterback. He's not top 10. I would put Jordan Love of Utah State above him.
I
think Jordan Love.
How dare you say he's not top 10? How dare you?
Jordan Love is better. I'd take Jordan Love on my team.
My God, that's terrible.
Jordan Love threw for over 300 yards on a good defense.
Oh my God. Yeah, against a crappy defense.
Oh, really? Mark D'Antonio prides himself on great defense.
No, well, that sucks because he doesn't have a good one this year.
Yeah, well, Michigan doesn't either. So I don't want to. I don't know why you're talking.
They suck. Michigan sucks. Their team sucks. Everything sucks.
So stop talking crap when you have no standing.
What?
You have no standing to talk any garbage to anybody about anything college football.
Can.
Nothing.
Yes,
you have nothing.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Chris. Rutgers has a better record than Michigan right now. I know. Rutgers is better than Michigan. I will say it right here, right now. Rutgers is a better team than Michigan.
Oh, that game in Piscataway is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, that electric crowd of 5 people.
Hey, don't make fun of that stadium. High Point Stadium's a tough place to play. Okay, anyways. Whatever, let's move on. Florida State embarrassed by Virginia Tech. Well, apparently the crowd... I'm going to be honest with you. The only reason why I watch Florida State is just for that theme song when it comes on. So I like Florida State being good because when they're good, I get to hear the theme song more. This was embarrassing. Willie Taggart should be fired already. I thought Jim Harbaugh called a bad game. That was the worst called game I've ever seen. He should be absolutely ashamed of himself. He has a 5-star running back, Cam Akers, and he runs him like 5 times the entire game. And they can't convert anything in the red zone. They were in the red zone about 10 times and couldn't do anything. It was embarrassing. Embarrassing.
I was a little surprised. I mean, I picked Virginia Tech in this game, but I definitely thought it'd be a little closer, especially with Francois coming back. But
it was embarrassing.
It wasn't impressive at all. They didn't play well at all. And I mean,
Bud Foster, the second best defensive coordinator of all time, behind Pat Narduzzi, who's now head coach.
No, the problem Florida State had is that Virginia Tech was determined to stop the run. They were stacking 9 in the box at some point.
They didn't run the ball at all. They ran it about 5 times the entire game. What are you talking about?
Francois threw 3 interceptions.
They put 9 in the box. They put 9 in the box. You can't run it. Francois.
Then throw the ball.
He couldn't. He couldn't.
Yeah, because he sucks. Talk about overrated. Of course, Michigan made him look good a couple of years ago, but he's the most overrated quarterback I've ever seen.
Dude, I told you guys he sucked, and I told you guys they shouldn't be ranked, and they're overrated. Then you guys listen. They come out and get smoked their first game.
Oh yeah, I was rooting for the theme song. I wasn't rooting for them.
Virginia Tech's not even that good.
Yes, they are.
I think they're a decent team. They're not great.
They're a pretty good team.
They'll win the Coastal because Miami sucks.
No.
But look out for Pitt.
True.
Pitt's a good team.
Miami will be winning that and making the playoffs.
Yeah, they might go 5-7 and miss the bowl game. Who knows? The way they play
what are you
against
talking about?
crappy
Dude,
LSU.
What are you talking about? Duke football. Watch out. Duke football.
Yeah, watch out for Duke. They got whatever his name is, Daniel Jones at quarterback.
Hey, they won the first game.
They defeated Army, a good Army team.
Yep. They played Northwestern this week.
That's right. That's one of our picks this week. Okay.
Will we be getting to the Maryland game?
No, we won't be.
No, because no one cares about Maryland.
No, because everybody knew Texas wasn't back because guess what? They don't have a quarterback, just like Michigan.
Shane Ellinger is nasty.
I feel like Michigan could have like Marcus Mariota. They could have Deshaun Watson and still suck on offense. That's how bad their play calling is.
Yeah, if they had Deshaun Watson, they'd still run a pro-style offense.
It's true.
I mean, Michigan State runs a pro-style offense. It's just the way they run it is just retarded. It's stupid. Anyway.
Play action on 4th and 10.
All right. Let's move on to the picks. As you can see, Luke and Chris are tied at first place with 7-3. Alex is 6-4. I come in at 5-5 because I have the balls to pick upsets.
Oh, I took App State.
Yeah, you almost got App State right. I'll give you credit there.
You found the balls to pick up pick. I took App State.
You're right. You still went 7-3 while picking App State. I'll give you credit. Luke is definitely in the lead right now in terms of moral points.
Luke, we were in the car when we were watching that game at the end. I thought you had that game.
I thought I had it. I thought, 52-yard return or whatever it was, and I was just shit. I was just like, shit.
All right. Well, let's go to the first pick. Row the boat. Western Michigan travels to Ann Arbor to play Michigan. Justin Kuchar. DeMarco Murray is on the call for this game. I can't wait to see this.
God,
Michigan is 27.5-point favorites. Who will win the game? DeMarco Murray.
Michigan's gonna win by at least 30 points. They go out, everybody will say they're back, but in reality they're not. They're a 7-5 team who beat up on bad teams, and they'll do it this weekend. Yeah, Michigan will win.
Yep. Agreed.
I don't know. I don't think Michigan will cover. I don't think
they'll cover.
I don't think their offense is good enough, and Western's one of the best programs in the state. So I'm gonna go with Michigan.
They're a top 10 program in the state.
30-10. So they won't cover.
That's respectable. They'll cover.
Okay, let's move on to the next pick. Number 18, Mississippi State at Kansas State. Kansas State almost lost to FCS South Dakota week 1. Mississippi State destroyed Stephen F. Austin. Mark Jones and Dusty Dvorak are on the call for this one. ESPNU, 12 Eastern. Who will win the game?
I've got Mississippi State. I think they're for real. And I watched the way Kansas State played last week, and that's just embarrassing. I'll take Mississippi State big.
I think Mississippi State will win. But I think the score will be. I think they'll get a touchdown and a field goal at the end and run away in garbage time.
Yeah, I don't foresee them winning by any less than 20.
Mississippi State is 8.5-point favorites in this one. But I really like Kansas State coming in this year. They have the duo at quarterback, Alex Delton and Skylar Thompson, who destroyed Oklahoma State and Mason Rudolph last year. I was really high on Kansas State. They had to come back down 10 in the fourth quarter against South Dakota last week. It was embarrassing, actually. The state of Kansas should be ashamed of themselves the way they played last week. But Mississippi State's a really good team. They get Nick Fitzgerald back this week. Mississippi State will win, but it'll be a close game, but Mississippi State will win the game. All right. Let's Duke at Northwestern. ESPNU, Northwestern's 3-point favorites at home. That's disrespectful.
Jeez. Oh, I'll take Northwestern, and they're definitely they'll cover that.
Oh, yeah.
They might win by a touchdown or 10 points, but they'll get back to what happened last year. Just embarrassing losing to that team last year.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, I'll take Northwestern, too. I like their Thorson's a good QB, and then they bring in that other guy for the little change of pace running
TJ
game.
Green?
Yeah, Thorson got benched.
No.
I like Northwestern to win by a touchdown and a field goal.
I'm going my upset. I got Duke winning.
Really?
They're going to win game-winning field goal right at the end.
Okay, so
that's my bet.
Northwestern does play down to their competition. We've seen it in the past. They've lost to a couple FCS teams. They've lost to some MAC opponents. Daniel, but I think they'll be ready for Duke just because of the way they played last year. They got absolutely destroyed by Duke. Northwestern will win this game by 14 points. All right, let's move on to what a great game. Rutgers at number 4, Ohio State. Ohio State is favored by 35 points in this one. My man Kevin Kugler from the BTN is on the call. Who will win the game?
Ohio State will win and they'll cover.
Yeah, I agree. It should be it's going to be the same score as last week. They're going to put up almost 80 points.
Yeah, Ohio State will win by about 1 million. I think the defense wasn't bad last week. The one thing I think almost happened was the pass rush was too good, and they got too deep. And then once they got past, the running back got past the first line, he broke out. So I think they just got to work on a controlled rush, and I think they'll get back to it and win by 50 points, 60 points.
Okay, that's aggressive. I think this is a trap game for Rutgers looking ahead to Kansas. Yeah, Ohio State will win, but this is controversial. They will not cover. Rutgers will keep it, but they will not lose by 35 or more points.
What, do you think Chris Ash has inside secret?
Yeah, he's got inside information. I wouldn't be shocked. He might outcoach Ryan Day in this game.
Okay.
All right, so we've all picked the same picks so far, but this is
No, I picked
Alex picked Duke.
Oh yeah, Alex stupidly picked Duke. That's right. Now this is a big one. 3:30 on CBS. Number 3 Georgia travels to Columbia to take on the number 24 Gamecocks. Georgia's 10-point favorites. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson on the call. Who will win the game?
We got South Carolina. I think they're a pretty good team. Jake Bentley's a good quarterback. And I'm not really sold on Georgia this year.
That was my pick. I was going to pick them too.
Good.
They're underrated, especially at home.
Luke, who you got?
Georgia's going to win, and I don't even think it's going to be close.
Georgia has to replace a lot on defense. I got South Carolina winning the game. This will be a huge win for Will Muschamp. I am extremely high on South Carolina this year. I think they can win 11 games in this regular season, the way their schedule sets up. If they can win this one, they might win out. Besides Clemson, they'll get destroyed by Clemson. But they might start the season 11-0, and I'm not joking. Just the way their schedule sets up. Okay. Next pick. Oops. Went a slide too far. Okay. Colorado at Nebraska. This is on ABC for some reason. No idea why. But apparently it is.
Why are we doing this game?
What?
Why are we doing this game? This game's terrible.
No, it's a close matchup. That's what we're looking for.
If you say so.
Who will win, Colorado or Nebraska?
Nebraska, because the Pac-12 is a joke.
Nope. I got Colorado winning. They destroyed Colorado State last week. It's always a tough place to play.
Lost to Hawaii the week before.
Doesn't matter.
Did you just say Colorado State's a tough place to play?
Yeah. Dude, Colorado's first. They're first in the Pac-12 right now.
I guess so.
The hardest part about picking this game is that Nebraska hasn't played a game yet.
Exactly.
That's true.
And I think I'm gonna go with Nebraska. No, I'm gonna go with Colorado.
Yeah.
I think Colorado is gonna win.
Well, I was gonna pick Colorado, but
No. Nebraska's gonna win. Scott Frost coming home. First game at home.
this is like the Maryland-Texas game last year. Everybody's like, oh, Tom Herman's gonna come in and win 10 games his first year. And then Maryland comes in and embarrasses them. Colorado's got a good quarterback, Steven Montez. Watch out for Colorado. I got Colorado winning this game. Okay. Next pick. The Cy-Hawk Trophy. Iowa State at Iowa. Iowa's favored by 3.5 points. Tim Brando on the call. 5 Eastern. Fox. Who will win?
I've got Iowa. Very close game, but I'm very high on Iowa this year. They have the best quarterback in the country. Nate Stanley.
Yeah, right.
So I got Iowa. And
I do
it's
too.
at home, isn't it? It's at home?
It's at home for Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa's going to win. Tough place
Yeah.
to play.
They got the best tight end in the country, too, so
Oh,
one of.
so?
It's a big option in the red zone.
Okay, then. They got to get to the red zone first.
Yeah,
Well, they have the best quarterback in the country.
Yeah, with that vicious Iowa State defense, okay.
Iowa State's defense was really good last year.
It was not.
I think Matt Campbell will have his guys ready to play. I'm going to take Iowa State.
Good pick. That's a great pick right there. Iowa State's got a 6th-year senior quarterback, Kyle Kempt. They've got an all Big 12 running back in, what's his name, David Montgomery. I think Iowa State will run the football, keep it away from Iowa. I got Iowa State winning this game. And remember, Iowa barely beat Iowa State last year. It'll be a similar game this year. Iowa State will win, though. Okay. Number 2, Clemson at Texas A&M. Reese Davis is on the call because Chris Fowler's doing tennis. Who will win?
This is an absolute joke. that College Game Day is going to this game. Clemson is going to wipe the floor with this Texas A&M team. It's going to be a laughable game. It'll be over in the first 10 minutes.
Disagreed. It'll be closer than that.
No, it's gonna be a blowout.
Yeah, I'm going to take Clemson, but I think it'll be closer, maybe 2.5 quarters, and they'll run away with it.
So Clemson is 11.5-point favorites in this one. They will not cover. This will be a close game.
Really.
They will not cover.
It will be close
Kyle
enough
Field,
that
no. Kyle Field, night game. Jimbo Fisher, who is 5-5 versus Dabo Swinney in his career, although it is his first year. It's going to be a tough one.
He's a big game coach.
He is a big game coach. But it'll be close. He'll keep it close until the end, and then Clemson will put Trevor Lawrence in, and they'll go on a 14-0 run or something and win the game. I got Clemson winning.
It will be close enough where ESPN will send us the upset alert.
Yes. I would say that, definitely. Okay, next game. Number 13, Penn State at Pitt. My man Sean McDonough on the call, 8 Eastern ABC. Penn State's favored by 8.5 points. Who will win the game?
I have a question. What time is the Clemson game?
7 on ESPN.
Okay. Well, this game, I'm not. Pitt wins big games at the end of the season. I don't see them winning this game. I think.
Well, because they gave
Penn
up.
State
They gave up 56 points to Oklahoma State in the first half last year.
Penn State will go in there. It's going to be a shootout, but I think they'll run away with
A
it at the end.
shootout, okay.
Yep, it will be a shootout. Yep, but they'll run away with it at the end. Got Penn State.
Yeah, I think they'll have a bounce back week. I still think they're shaky on defense, but I think they'll be ready to play to try to prove some people wrong.
Well, if they play like they did against App State, they're going to get absolutely wrecked. But I think they'll win. There's no way they're going to play that again. It's just not a good team.
If you remember, 2 years ago, Penn State went into Pitt and lost. My man, Pat Narduzzi, the Mark D'Antonio's replacement, will have his team ready. He's a great motivator. We've seen it in the past. He's got an excellent quarterback, Kenny Pickett, sophomore.
Oh, give me a break.
Who just destroyed Miami's defense last year. Absolutely destroyed them. I got Pitt winning this game. Pitt plays very well at home. They've got a big game coach, a big game quarterback who's proven it. I got Pitt winning this game. I think Penn State is extremely overrated. If you look at James Franklin's record, without Joe Moorhead, he's a 500 coach. I think Penn State loses. Pitt will win. Okay. This is probably the biggest game of the week. Number 17, USC at number 10, Stanford. Joe Davis on the call. 8:30 on Fox. Who will win the game?
Let me tell you, this is the game that I'll be watching, despite all the crappy SEC teams that are ranked in the bottom.
You are not watching the
20 to
Conference of
25.
Champions. Are you kidding me?
No,
Are
yes,
you
I am,
serious?
because those teams from 20 to 25 that they rank in the SEC just to rank them, I will not be watching in prime time.
Ridiculous.
I'll watch this game. USC is extremely
I
overrated.
can't watch a Pac-12 game. I struggle to watch a Pac-12 football game.
I was very high on Stanford coming into the year, and then I watched them play last week. But I also know USC struggled last week. I trust KJ Costello, and I trust David Shaw. And I'll take Stanford, and I think they're going to blow the doors off USC.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I just think in a big game at Stanford, JT Daniels looks promising, but freshman quarterback, second game, going away in a big game like this, I don't know if you can trust that. So I'm going to take Stanford.
Yeah, I think Darsoft's going to run all over that overrated team.
Well,
really
Bryce
close.
Love could not run on San Diego State last week.
Yeah, he couldn't run at all last week.
Exactly.
One
But
week.
Stanford
One week.
is going to blow out USC. USC is the Michigan of the West. They lose big games all the time. I got Stanford winning easily. All right. Number 15, Michigan State at Arizona State. 10:45 Eastern, ESPN. Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy, who I hate,
Case Cash.
and Tom Luginbill on the call. Michigan State 6.5-point favorites right now. Who will win the game?
Let me tell you, I struggle with this one. I was thinking Michigan State is definitely the better team, talent-wise. But I'm going to pick Arizona State. I think this team, they looked good last week, and I definitely think Herm Edwards is very underrated coming into this season. They're going to make a statement.
I have been impressed by Herm Edwards so far.
They are going to win this game, and they're going to make a statement and drop MSU, maybe out of the rankings.
I think D'Antonio will have them ready to play. I think it might be close for maybe a half, and then Michigan run away with it at the end.
I don't know. You see, I could see this. This is like a toss-up game to me. I think I'll go with the safe pick. I'm going to pick Michigan State, but it's definitely going to be like a 1-2 point game.
Well, yeah, I struggle with this one as well. Michigan State struggles with these type of offenses. We've seen it last week, although Utah State runs a much faster-paced version of the spread offense than Arizona State does. Arizona State has matchups.
Arizona State's a better team.
Arizona State has matchups they can exploit. They have the best receiver in the country, N'Keal Harry. They have a top 20 quarterback, Manny Wilkins. It's going to be a long day. I think Michigan State's got to play bend, but don't break defense. If they can do that, they're going to win this game. Brian Lewerke's coming back home. He's from Phoenix. He will show up in this game, have a big game. I want to see more from Connor Hayward on the ground. But Michigan State will pull away in the fourth quarter, like Luke said. They'll win 38-27, I would say. Something like that. They will hold Arizona State to field goals early, and that'll help them later in the game. All right, any last words on anything we have this podcast? I know we've said a lot. No?
No.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will see who has the best picks next week. So thank you, everybody, for watching.